Very warm welcome to Women Economic Forum 2016. I am feeling very pleasure and congratulating to be a part of this great event. So our next session will be on what my mother and grandmother did to save money. Are there values to be learned? Which is presented by our lead speaker, Charity Nyopa. Please welcome ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Charity, and I'm a retiree. I retired last year from my job as the managing director of Airtel Networks. And before that, I've had two previous managing director roles as the managing director of a bank, EcoBank Zambia, which I actually established in Zambia, the first branch ever in Zambia for West African banking group. And I managed to do that quite successfully. We opened our doors within a year of my being appointed. And then I was also the managing director of the Zambia National Tourism Board. Upon retiring, Zambia National Tourism Board is a government parastatal, and they're responsible for domestic and international marketing of the Zambian tourism product. I'm sure you may have heard of the Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. Well, it's in Zambia, so I'm quite privileged to come from there. I'm now currently the chairperson of one of the biggest banks in Zambia, Zanaco. I also chair two other boards, the SOS Children Villages International, as well as the Hostels Board of Management, which is a government body under the Ministry of Works and Supply. So I've got my feet in three different boards. That keeps me busy for somebody who's like retired. But this keeps my brain going. Why did I choose this topic? I think it's important for all of us, especially for me who has a financial background as a banker, to see what gems there are from our ancestors, and I call them ancestors because of my granny, on how we could save money. And saving money really from their perspective is a totally different perspective from what we have today. I come from Zambia, and Zambia in Africa is not like your usual other country in the West, and we have very deeply seated cultural norms, which I have set aside and put in this presentation to allow you to see a little bit of where we come from in terms of savings and also in terms of investment. So in my slide today, here's my granny reading a book, How to Get Rich. And tell me, how do you get rich if you don't save? So I just thought, let's make this a nice, fun, interactive session. There's lots of learning, but I believe we can also be serious and have fun. It's pointless being also serious and trying to see what we can get from here without enjoying ourselves a little bit. And I trust that some things will stick because we'll be having a bit of fun. So, what did my grandmother do? And what did my mother do? Where did the money go? And the money does go. Sometimes, in spite of the best intentions, savings just seem to go away. So what do we mean by savings? So I Googled, thank God for my new best friend Google, and they told me that an economy or reduction in money, time, or another resource, a reduction, a cut, a decrease economy, that's what we mean by savings. And if you find any definition here that resonates with your own, please feel free to share it, or even to tell me something I may have missed out. Economizing, you have to have frugality, thrift and thriftiness. You have to have retrenchment, cutting back, belt tightening, all those nice things that you're supposed to do and maybe not do so well. Penny pinching, carefulness, prudence. I looked at all these definitions. So the money one has saved, especially through a bank or official scheme, is also a saving. And we also look at the synonyms of what is saving. Saving is a nest egg. Money put by for a rainy day, life savings, or more capital if we go into 21st century motherhood, or capital, assets, funds, resources, and reserves. So, first things that our grandparents did was to have children, okay?
And the more the merrier. Why? Because they have their uses. Okay? And they were useful for something. Instead of going to the butchery, send them off to the bush, they go and hunt you a guinea fowl, they go and hunt you some game, and you come back and you have something to eat. The mother savings habits also has two schools of thoughts. The piggy bank, and we also invested in livestock to store value. So we bought cows, we bought pigs, we bought chickens, we did everything, turkey, in the homestead. And the homestead could be not even much bigger than we're seeing today. And this is what our mothers and grandmothers did to save money. So they would sell their livestock to release cash in emergencies. So they'll keep the the domestic animals there. They will tend to them, they let them loose in the field. There's no need to buy livestock or feed because they will be there. So at the end of the day, they were able to store value, fatten them at zero cost, but still manage to sell them. And the reasons why we had so many children was to help them carry this livestock with us to markets down the road, because transportation those days was not easy. So you had sports carts or you actually walk. I need to have more children here as well to multitask. It makes so another way of saving, hand-me-downs. It's not every day that mother bought something new or grandmother. So if I had a younger sister or an elder sister, I'd be wearing their hand-me-downs. So there'll be clothes, there'll be toys, there'll be books, bikes, and somebody said even their name was a hand-me-down. My name is a hand-me-down from my great-grandmother, my mother's mother. So hand-me-downs were the things to do. Not that we were all very happy about it, but it was another form of saving. And if you look at what happened when you had the hand-me-downs, there was always a challenge about wearing other people's clothes, because at the end of the day, they were not always what you wanted, but it saved your grandmother or your mother some money. We also have the cookie jar savings, because they released power. They gave us money for college, for housekeeping, for medical, and for, I think that's it, something. Vision? I don't think so. They were not that enlarged in their vision. But it was there. And at the end of the day, these cookie jars were not always out on display, but they were there. And what happens now is that they invest that money in the kids' education. All those kids they invested in them as a saving to take them to school, because when they grow up, who looks after you? It's your children. In my culture, we have a saying, and I'll try and make it simple in translation. It says, Mom, look after me, and I will look after you. And it's really about putting your children on your back. And they say, when we grow older, we'll put you on our back too. So this investment in education was a way of saving for our grandmothers and our mothers. So our mothers and grandmothers were also very entrepreneurial. Cost management was something that they believed in. So instead of buying it, they'll make it. If they can get a piece of dress that is perhaps very nice, while the other portion is damaged, they'll make you a skirt. If they could find some material to make you a dress, an outfit, whatever, they'll make it for you. Much cheaper and definitely more cost saving if it comes to the choice of, shall I spend it or shall I save it? Now, there was also a big secret. Grandpa or even dad never knew where the cash was stashed, because there was always a cash stashed somewhere for their emergencies. I recall my grandmother used to tie it in a knot in her wrapper, and she'd give it to me, go and put it away safely. Because if she put it away safely, it would be so safely put away, nobody would ever find it. So that form of saving was quite detrimental to all of us. So some of us had to volunteer to hide the wrapper. And because she was advanced in age, we didn't take advantage of thinking that she may not know how much money was there. She knew how much money was there. So it was a big family secret. So It's money saving moms. I'm sure all of us in here are mothers, most of us in here are mothers. That's my daughter. So I save, and I had to dip into my piggy bank to bring her to India to learn how to global network. So we do all sorts of things as parents. So we dip into our savings to allow our children to have some benefits and privileges. So mom savings. I'm talking now about the 21st century mom. That's me, that's you. What do? We go to the bank. And at the end of the day, we put our money in the bank. In Zambia is predominantly a developing country with very few banks in the rural areas. So you will find banks only in the urban areas or peri-urban areas, but hardly ever in the rural areas. So at the end of the day, it was important for us to put money in the bank. The other way we also save is not to use our money, to use his credit card and spend his money while you keep yours safely. And that still works, I think, for most of us today. Moms also invest. How many of us have investments of any kind, in shares, in stocks, savings? Yes, we do that quite a bit. And why do we do that? Because we are also saving for that rainy day when we will not be able to go to work, and we want to have some nice things by having our own money. So, options are also weighed carefully between trading and investing. And what I mean by trading is that you take the money, buy something that is movable. Sometimes when I look at my grandmother, she would buy vegetables, she would buy seed, she would actually plant the seed and have vegetables or maize and sell it. Okay, so that is what I mean by trading. Or investing. You actually buy stock, you buy shares, or you buy cattle. In my country, cattle appreciates quite a bit. In my country, real estate appreciates quite a bit. What is my favorite way of saving? I am completely useless around money. So I keep it in a non-monetary form. So I buy houses. I don't put money in the bank unless I'm going to spend it, which is another way of saving for me. Because unlike the Western world where real estate actually devalues, in Zambia, it actually appreciates value. I bought a house in August of 2013 for $600,000. By the end of the year, it has already reached $150,000. So that of the same year. So you see, real estate appreciates. So subsequently, you need to weigh carefully trading versus investing. I'm a lazy seller, so I would not do trading. I prefer to do things that will work for themselves and actually give me the money. And this I learned as well from my grandmother. So let's recap. Savings were in children, the more the merrier. And my grandmother had 10 children. 10 children, and she educated them all so that at the end